Isaiah Johnson told us at the beginning of the season, watch out for fellow running back Nehemiah Martinez. The senior did not get to play last year because he transferred from New Deal, was not granted eligibility. Jet Duffy did not play in that game after a poor performance at Kansas State, but he will be making his second consecutive start here tomorrow afternoon. David Yost says he's seeing a more confident quarterback, one that's becoming more decisive. Monterey missed the playoffs last year, and Coronado's been a staple under Seth Parr. And Parr said he didn't really feel like this was a must-win game. Sure playing like it, though.
He's got a lot of good, promising young players in, and then he has players like Emily Hill who are just leading this team extraordinarily well, showing what a leader is by example.
They are renaming the stadium after former Wildcat, New Mexico Lobo, Chicago Bear, Pro Football Hall of Famer Brian Urlacher, and he joins me now. Brian, how big of an honor is it to just have your name plastered on the place where really your career started? A bit of a scare for the Red Raiders in the third quarter when Alan Bowman was hit and went into the locker room. He did come back, but after the game, Matt Wells says it was his left shoulder area. Didn't give any details on the severity of the injury. Beard's three daughters all travel in a pack. You'll find them in the stands, sitting in on press conferences or on the fireside chats. It used to be you think Kansas football and you would then think automatic win. But with a new head coach and Les Miles and the Jayhawks coming off a near upset over the ranked Longhorns, not so fast.
Hosting a block party out there. That's the second one in just a few plays. She's out there solo and gets up way ahead of Abby Jackson.
That was my inauguration.
This is the first real test before they get into that Big 12 mentality and Big 12 play. UNT a physical team, and they haven't seen as much of that. She's had so many touches, getting to the end line, trusting herself, and she has her head up the entire time to see where the defenders are.
We're told from an outside perspective that the offense will look the most similar to what fans are used to seeing. But what's different that allows you to showcase a skill set that we didn't see last year? I don't think they would have brought him back into that game if they thought there was any chance he wouldn't play Monday night. And I think you're a grad transfer. This is the biggest stage you've ever been on, and you're going to finish your season on that court. We interrupt you now to bring you breaking news. Texas Tech has parted ways with Cliff Kingsbury. I think a lot of people thought maybe Kingsbury's saving grace would have been that he dealt with a ton of quarterback injuries, and that's his signature. Jalen Dobbins with the QB keeper, the big 6'2 junior taking it 14 yards into the house, 9-7, Estacado back on top. The Estacado D still going to work in the second quarter, stripping Manuel of the ball, and recovering the fumble is Jerry Davis. On that next drive, it's Dobbins again, this time with a dime to TJ Steele right in the breadbasket. Estacado would go up 16-7.
Go ahead and make that guy my class winner just because he's real trim and he's got a huge ham, so he's going to yield a ton of closely trimmed retail cuts just because of that muscling and that lack of fat.
It took Keith Shoemake about 30 seconds to rank 4 pork carcasses.
It shouldn't be more than 4 inches, and it's almost 5. This one also has diaphragm right here and hanging tender.
Paige Williams could spot the poor cut of the pork loin with a naked eye. The team puts in a lot of time. They drive 100 miles to Friona every Friday at 1 to practice, then turn around Saturday mornings with a 4 a.m. call for a 10-hour practice.
Those are some long days, but we're just very passionate about it. We want to do well, and we're willing to put in the work to do well.
It's a formula Dr. Mark Miller has been teaching for 30 years.
The day we stopped talking about winning the national championship, we started winning them pretty much all the time.
13 of them, to be exact.
I mean, in all honesty, everybody hates us. They want to beat us.
Texas Tech may be the hottest team right now, but they don't hold the most national championships. Oklahoma State and A&M have more.
It's a lot bigger picture than meat judging. Like, meat judging is the vehicle that we can use to do things that can make a big impact in people's lives and also across this country.
That's the case for senior Denise Gabarra. She was in community college when Miller noticed her at a competition. He writes letters to recruit and made a special one for Gabarra.
Dr. Miller actually hand wrote mine and said, hey, I saw your progression, I saw how much you worked and you strived for what you achieved, so I'd really like to see you at Tech.
Gabarra's parents immigrated from Mexico and work in the industry. Her culture and experience at Tech is leading her to an international career in animal welfare and food safety in lesser developed countries.
Our whole mission is to grow young people, being unselfish, about being committed to excellence, and to be honorable in everything you do. And if you do those 3 things, everything else takes care of itself.
Texas Tech will compete for its 14th national championship in November.
Welcome back to Fox 34 Football Friday. That was Kate Cluley, Joe Cluley's oldest daughter. So cute. Every week, the Cluleys host a dinner for Estacado's 4 captains. It's a time for good food, conversation, and just a little part of how Coach Cluley makes Estacado football a family.
The more the kids got to be around my family, the more they opened up at that dinner table, and that allows us into our kids' lives even more.
Joe Cluley built his program around family, trust, and respect. When he was hired as Estacado's head coach last year, he brought the idea of captain's dinners to his wife, Courtney.
It turned into, we're 9-4, so we played 13 games, and I think we did one after it, so like 14 weeks. And it was just such a special thing, and my kids were so excited every week. And next to the game, this is, what we look forward to. It's
a special thing to be able to have these guys in my house and be around my kids and my family, and we have a lot of fun.
Kate and MJ are the ultimate cheerleaders for the team.
Go Matadors! Go Matadors!
Cluley even brought them to Kate's softball game.
And were you excited to see them?
The relationship they've built with the captains doesn't go unnoticed.
I feel like they love us just like we was their own. Every time we come over, the 2 girls love when we come over. Every time we come over, they cook something good, we eat something good.
The captains are voted on by the team. Coach Cluley calls this year's group the best he's ever had. What they talk about at the captain's dinner allows him to have a better pulse on the team.
We talk about stuff that goes on with the team and stuff, and what we can get better at. And we made a few changes.
Creates a bigger bubble, like it's a coach's bubble, then it's a outside, more closer bubble.
The players and Cluley have seen it translate on the field.
We just communicate more. I think we just been with each other so long, we all just used to each other.
Coach Cluley says it also allowed him to be more in tune with his players' lives and gives him a better idea on how to build the Matador program for years to come.